Hey there and welcome. Whoa. This is wrong. Here. Hey there and welcome to another live stream of Measureschool.com where we teach you the data-driven way of digital marketing. My name is Julian and we are live right now talking again about MeasureMasters. Now, if you don't know or haven't tuned into our last live streams, we have launched MeasureMasters last week. It's our new membership site that we have launched for all of you out there openly now, where you can learn the data-driven way of digital marketing, or at least take the next step to it. I realized in my journey as a Measure Master that I could get forward with learning certain tools like Google Tag Manager and Google Analytics, definitely, but then take the next step of actually developing a career out of it is a whole journey. And that's why we launched MeasureMasters, to continuously help you to learn the data-driven way of digital marketing. So today I want to take a deep dive again into MeasureMasters and show you one or the other aspects. Now, as I mentioned, we are live right now. We already have a few people online. Ronnie, Alba, Gautam, Simon, Tung, David, Omar, welcome. And I'm gonna answer your questions in a second if you stick around. Now let's dive into MeasureMasters. First of all, where can you find out more about this? If you are interested, you can head over to MeasureMasters, Measureschool.com/MeasureMasters. And we have a launch discount going on right now because we are just opening it up. For the next 2 days, you can still get in on a discounted price. Now read through this whole information on this page to find out more about MeasureMasters. I want to show you behind the scenes and show what you can get. And last week, I didn't really, or my last live stream on Friday, we looked at the course library that we have available with all these courses. And if you want to check that out, head back to the last video. Today, we want to take a look at the resources. So this is what it would look like if you log into MeasureMasters, and you can go over to the resources. Now, what are the resources all about? This is really all about the life as a Measure Master. You would implement tracking, you do certain things, and we want to make your life easier. And that's what the resource is all about. So in my business and in my practice as a measure implementer, I oftentimes fall back on certain knowledge that I attained maybe a few other projects ago. And that's when I started building templates around certain things. And these templates are basically part of MeasureMasters. Templates, tools, and also other resources. So let's take a look at some of these different resources. So first of all, here we have different categories. We have templates, checklists, tools, scripts, and so on. We have certain tools that I've developed, like the GTM Renamer. We have a vault of different data studio dashboards. So if you are ever looking for a template for a dashboard, you can go into our vault and look at all the different dashboards that we have available there. That will look like a little bit like this. So we went out and looked for the best dashboards out there and put them all into our categories here on Trello. Then let's go on and see, we have measurement plan. A measurement plan is basically how you build the tracking up from scratch. And this is what I go through, these different steps with my clients when I build a new tracking from scratch for them. We have Google Tag Manager migration checklist. So if you take a Google Tag Manager from one account to the next, or if you're taking your existing tracking into Google Tag Manager, what do you have to pay attention to? The migration checklist. So let's dive into some of these resources. We have, for example, the Trello Dashboard for our Google Tag Manager implementations. So many of these different, oh, my Google Assistant just went on. I'm not allowed to say Google too loud. Hey, again. Okay, this is our migration, our Trello board with different Google Tag Manager templates in here. So all the templates that you see throughout the videos, if you want to go in and find out, okay, I need a timestamp variable, you can go in here and you see all the different stuff that we have prepared here for you. This is also something that I refer to often when I am looking for a tracking implementation. So we have different tracking implementations on this dashboard. Then we have different templates. So for example, a data layer implementation is something that you often do as Google Tag Manager implementer, and you might need to tell a developer what a data layer actually is and how to implement it and what he needs to change. And so we have different templates here for different data layers. In this case, it would be a form submission data layer. And we have many more of these different data layer templates throughout our resource section. Then we come to the tools. Now, tools are not something that is easily built, and that's why they don't come out this often. But I have built myself little tools, and in our practice as implementers, we have built some tools and we have some exclusive resources here. So for example, one easy example is here the Enhanced E-commerce Spec document. Now, this is a simple little spec document in terms of a spreadsheet that I've built that you can go through. And in the end, if you don't know how to build a data layer, this is something that you would need to find out and then rewrite these little JavaScript objects, which might be a bit cumbersome. So I've built this enhanced e-commerce tracking spec that you can fill out, just like a form really, and then click on this code button here, and it will open up the assembled code. Now, nothing really will be in here unless you we have defaults here defined, but this will build the data layer code for you, so you have a perfectly formatted enhanced e-commerce tracking data layer. Which brings me to our other tool, which I don't have open right now. Where do we have our data layer builder? Right here. So we can go over to this data layer builder, and this data layer builder is a little tool which I wanted to build out of training purposes. So when I try to explain a data layer, then it's always a bit hard to explain, okay, how does a data layer actually is built up? And you would need to know JavaScript and especially JavaScript objects and data types and so on. Now, I saw this on a different other project that there was a form that fit this very well. So here we can enter our first data layer key, first key, and then we can choose the data type. We have Boolean, for example, true or false. And then we can also build a object. So the type object. And so on. We can type everything in here. And then we can let the little tool build the data layer for us. So we have a perfectly formatted data layer that we can then use for our tracking purposes and go in and give this over to a developer. So this makes it easier from this little form to port into a data layer. And it actually goes both ways. So if we have a data layer from, let's say we have a data layer from the enhanced e-commerce tracking here, this one, and we wanted to change something inside of this data layer, we obviously would need to know a little bit of JavaScript in order to change this around and so on. Not very practical if you're not a developer. So you have this backwards functionality, and it builds the whole data layer for you inside of this form. And you say, okay, I want to change this black to blue. And then you can transform it back, and it will give you back your data layer as well. So this is really a little tool to make this easier to edit data layers. Okay, this is one of the tools. We have this little form. This is specifically for enhanced e-commerce tracking. We also give out templates such as this little funnel tracking template. This is something that came out of a question from a client, but then also we did a live session on it, and I came up with this little template here where you can fill out your data, and it more in this training really about funnel tracking, where I explained how to fill this out and then build your funnel visualization with this. What do we have here? The newsletter builder. So internally, I also build tools to make my workflow easier. So I send out this newsletter every week, right, on Measureschool. And there is a lot of HTML involved. Now I can't actually, I make a lot of mistakes when I write HTML. and change out these variables and so on. So I wanted to build something that simple that I and my employees can take over and just implement. So we have here the video URL, we put the WP URL, the WordPress URL in here, the other videos and the measure links for every week. And this will then build a HTML. We have here little checkboxes. This will build the HTML for us, so we don't have to go in and take out the whole HTML and build, write it ourselves or make any mistakes with it. So these are little tools. I don't know how useful this will be in your Measure life, but it is something that I wanted to bring out so other people can say, oh, I have exactly that same problem, and these are probably not worthy of launching anywhere publicly, but inside of the community, I feel very comfortable doing this. And then I also built, over the last few months, let's go back here, many different tools. We also have, where did I build the notification? So GTM notifications is a little tool that I've built to actually remind me when somebody publishes a new version. So if you are part of a Google Tag Manager account where many people are collaborating and you never really know when does a new version is actually published or what changes were done, then this little tool will help you out to install the Google App script that will check your Google Tag Manager account and will let you know, okay, there is one new tag, 3 new triggers and so on implemented, and you can take a look into that account. Quite useful for the accounts that I sometimes work with, because bigger companies, if you have access to a lot of companies, suddenly a developer goes in and changes around your tags and you don't know what's happening. And yeah, this is just a little tool that I've come up with. Cool. I hope this gives you a little bit of a sneak peek into our resources here at MeasureMasters. If you like to find out more about this, head over to measureschool.com/measuremasters, and you will still be able to qualify for the discount that we have going on right now in launch week for the next 2 days. So check that out if you're interested at measureschool.com. All right, that's it already with this week's, no, not this week's. I'm gonna probably do another live stream at least on Wednesday, maybe even tomorrow. So tune in to see more aspects of MeasureMasters if you're interested in that. And as always, if you like this video, then hit that like button and subscribe down there, up here somewhere, because we're bringing you new videos just like this one every week. Now, my name is Julian, as always.